So, I just wanted to cover the five realities of becoming a first time dad that I wish I knew sooner. And here is the first. First one, I would say five realities. Number one is sleep deprivation. So, normally I am a nurse working 12-hour shifts, and I could handle working night shifts. I really can. We get breaks in between, and I'm used to working two 12-hour day shifts and two 12-hour night shifts. And those night shifts aren't too bad, and I sometimes will complain and say, "Oh, I'm so tired," and my sleep is off. But when it comes to having a baby, it's a whole different story. The sleep deprivation that I talk about with having a newborn is pretty much being with them every step of the way. Right now, we're working on baby's hungry already. This is one of them. Hold on, guys. And the sleep deprivation I'm talking about is being on your sleep schedule. Now, you can strategize, and it helps, to be honest, if you have a partner with you or someone's helping you get those hours of sleep, because this kid, or at least mine, wakes up every almost 2 hours, 2.5 hours for feeding or needing of change. But that also doesn't include that after you feed, that you need to at least burp them. Just because if you don't, then sometimes they end up vomiting a lot, and making sure that you have them sitting upright for a number of minutes. At least for me, about 15 to 30 minutes I was sitting upright, and then about like 5 to 10 minutes. And changing time goes from about 15, 30 minutes to about like an hour, because now that they finished finished eating and you burp them, all of a sudden they want to poop. So now you go change them to poop, and then once your poop is done, finally an hour and a half has passed, and then you finally get them to sleep after about an hour and let's say 45 minutes. And with sleep deprivation, it's because you're waking up every few hours for feeding change, like I said, and then you also have to, in between those, you have to survive. So you also got to make sure you eat. You got to make sure that you get a little bit of rest, and you got to make sure that you also are able to, still do the day-to-day life stuff, which is like, make dinner, make meals, eat snacks, shower, eat, and try to fit in a little bit of exercise when you can, even if it's a short walk, to get the mail, or even just short walk down the street, just so you can get a little bit of, like, I guess, a bit of a break. So one of the ways to combat that, making sure that there's food, is meal prep. I know it sounds boring, but if you can meal prep, that's the best way to go. Make a bunch of food that lasts you the week. Now, you don't need to be super gourmet fresh and make every fresh meal every single day. Just make something that's, for us, I learned a broth. My wife likes a lot of broth, a lot of soup, and that helps with making sure you drink a lot of fluids to maintain and to stay hydrated. I'm sorry. Another thing that I learned, being a 3-week-old newborn dad, is make sure you have enough supplies, not only for food, but diapers, wipes, clothing. I mean, for the most part, I think clothing most people are covered with. If you're blessed with hand-me-downs, use those. These newborns grow up quick. And making sure that you will have the supplies. The absolute essentials were the baby bottles as well, getting the right nipples for baby bottles. We use some sort of sanitizer, cleaner to help as well, so make sure you have those supplies. And formula, either it's powder, if it's ready-made, know how to use it, know how to use your bowel warmers. Sitting around there, you bought it, open the box, don't let it sit there. And as you prep, make sure you know how to use it. At the end of the day, you need to know how to use those. Those are essentials that you're going to be feeding for your kids. So know how to sterilize things, know how long this milk is going to last for. If it's breastfed milk, you can store in the fridge. If it's ready-made milk, room temperature, is that okay? And just making sure that you know how to use all the items you have purchased for your baby. But for 4, I would say, things that I've learned being a newborn dad, is make sure you as much as you care for your child, make sure you do a little bit of time to look after yourself as well. Even if it's going for a walk outside, like I said earlier, or if you decide you want to, I don't know, maybe start a YouTube channel like I did, some creative outlet, anything at all, just to kind of keep your mind busy as well. I know you can get pretty drained, and uh, make sure you do something that's going to make you feel good. Either it's working out. I would say exercise is always number one. The last thing I learned, being a newborn dad, that was number five, is learn. I've learned that a bit more cautious about, you know, letting whoever comes in the house. And what I mean by that is just be aware, and you have to sort of put your foot down. If people want to visit, and that they're not doing well, or even if they have a cough, or they're recovering from a cold, do your very very best to protect your child. Number one priority. He unfortunately doesn't have any vaccinations yet, so at any cost, if you have someone that wants to visit, he's gonna be firm that you gotta lay down the rules. So if someone wants to visit, make sure that if you don't want them touching the baby, let them know, I appreciate you guys coming. If you can wear your or masks if you are around, because it means, just let them know. And there are boundaries, that people won't cross, but you have to lay down the rules. And some people will take an exception to it, will be offended. But to be honest, it's your child. You raise it the way you want to. So that's one thing I've learned as well, is you gotta just be firm with your own rules, and don't be afraid to say no. Or like it's your kid. This is gonna be someone you're looking after your whole life, and you want them to not get sick, and try your best for them not to feel, not to get any infection or catch anything. I did learn those five things, which is sleep deprivation. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Meal prep is important. Second, third, I also learned about supplies, making sure you have everything you need to survive the first 3 weeks, or just in general the whole time after giving birth. Fourth one is take some time doing something you really enjoy. And finally, just being sure you keep the baby's health in check, always safe. And it's okay to have boundaries and say no. So if you learned anything from that, hopefully you took that away. I know I went rambling on. I'm still trying to learn how to make YouTube videos, so please don't mind me if I'm still trying to learn. But I enjoy doing this. Hopefully you got something from it. Those are three things I learned. Being a newborn dad, for five things I learned being a newborn dad the first 3 weeks of their birth. So with that said, if you have any suggestions, please feel free to comment on what you've learned being a newborn dad. If you're a newborn dad, even if you're not, if you're already a father of many kids, or how many kids you already have, please feel free to make suggestions in the comment side. Yeah, till next time, I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.